Hey guys, let me ask you all something. What is the definition of commentary in your opinion? I'm kinda curious about it. To give you all my opinion, commentary in my opinion should be criticizing a YouTuber or a social media person, using clips to back up your points. You all might be wondering as to why I am even telling you that. Well, I'm telling you that because I've noticed an influx of commentary YouTubers that don't tend to do that anymore. Instead, they make reaction content marketed as commentary. And today's YouTuber perfectly exemplifies that issue, since today we're talking about Veshremy. I have been getting a comment recommending me that channel. I can't show you the comment because the person deleted a comment right away for some reason. But to the person who wrote the comment, you got a good recommendation there. That channel is bad. Really bad. And today I'll talk about my reasonings as to why this channel is bad in my opinion. But before we begin, let's do the shoutout. And today's shoutout goes to a friend of mine and a long-time inspiration for me. That YouTuber's name is Ericzilla1999. His channel, in fact, when it comes to content, has a lot to offer. He makes his own series called Godzilla and Ultraman Daikaiju Gaiden, which is very good in quality. It is clear that he puts a lot of work and passion into that series. He also does gaming videos of games like Genshin Impact or Fortnite. The Fortnite videos are their own series called Cringe Night. And he also does critique style content with a few formats that he has. For example, his Godzilla Cringe or My Thoughts series. Or to name some past examples, his DeviantArt critiques or his internet oddities. His critical videos are very informative and nice to watch. He also is a very good artist and he has commissions open. So go subscribe to Ericzilla1999 since he really deserves way more subscribers than 7k. And with the shoutout being done, let's get to the video's main topic. Roll the intro. So here's a rule that I will apply from season 2 onwards. I will talk about the YouTuber's more modern content, or when I talk about a YouTuber for a second or third time, I will mention the things that happened since my last video on that person. I hope you all understand that rule. So, as usual, we begin with the channel description. And once again, the description is just the bare minimum. And at this point, I am honestly starting to get annoyed. The channel description is something that should explain to new viewers what the channel is about. When I look at Veshremy's channel description, I just immediately lose interest. Because it appears as if he'd be just there for traffic and not for passion. And that immediately goes against the overall purpose of YouTube. You know, the slogan they once had? Broadcast yourself. But let's just get to the videos page, because I don't want to harp on the description too much. And to describe the thumbnails, I only have to use one word. And the word is sniper wolfish. I mean, just take a look at Veshremy's thumbnail page and compare that to Sniper Wolf's thumbnail page. They just look awfully similar. The thumbnails have his channel mascot that always have the exact same expression, with the only difference being the picture on the right and the color of the background. And yes, before any of you say it, I know that I used to apply the same method for some time with my thumbnails, but by now I am trying to use all of my character stills so the thumbnails don't look too identical. Also, every thumbnail that has a picture of Veshremy himself in it has two methods from what I've seen. The first one being the typical reaction face, having some exaggerated expression to exemplify why the thing he watches would be so bad. And the other type of thumbnail is, well, this. I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest. And when looking at the actual topics of the videos, it is clear that it is just a mix of the typical commentary slop topics. I mean, just take a look at some of the topics. Spice Kings, Clean Girl, Roblox TikToks, TikTok recipes, ASMR sometimes mixed with brain rot, Ronaldo, going undercover as a Spice King. My god, do you see the problems I have with those topics? Also, I want to point something out. You aren't exposing anything new about Clean Girl. The things you talked about are the things that people have already known about for over a year. You're such a goddamn liar, Veshremy, I swear. But I understand, you gotta exaggerate the title to get clicks. And yes, I looked at many of his newest videos, and I think it's about time where I actually talk about what is actually within the videos. And I'll use 2 videos as examples for my problems with his style of commentary. The first one is his newest video. That video in general is just very bad. Let's start with the moderation and editing. I will just play a few clips and I think you all will understand my problem.
This is spicy and he always eats the most extreme spicy food literally ever. That's probably why his name is Spicy. So I thought it'd be funny to go to his older videos and see what he started off eating, because these are his cringiest videos. So if you make it to the end, I will literally give you air. Dang, bro's like a chipmunk eating that fast.
Jalapeno.
Why did you say that like a freaking dingus?
Satan's blood.
Satan's blood, bro. Why do you keep adding stuff? One bite of that is gonna send
This is the most obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life.
So this is what people consider as good commentary nowadays, huh? Excuse me for 1 second. Okay, now that I've gotten this out of my system, let's just continue. Can you all understand what my problem is? I mean, I won't blame you if you can't pinpoint the exact reason. That is because I actually have problems with everything in that video, believe it or not. The editing is just so oversaturated that I just get a headache looking at it. It is editing that's just obviously catered towards a younger audience. And the speech pattern in the videos doesn't make the videos a lot more comfortable to watch, let me tell you that. Because for some reason, Veshremy over here feels the need to exaggerate almost everything he says, which honestly sounds so uncomfortable to me, because it gives off the vibes as if he's trying to look cool. And aside from that, he often just points out what's happening on screen. It isn't as if we actually have eyes in our heads. And he often does that just to make a stupid quip instead of making an actual good point. Another thing I've noticed is that each commentary part lasts for around 15 seconds, which overall feels lazy to me. And it feels way more like a reaction than actual commentary. And the last thing that I have to say is that the video is incredibly draining to watch. I'm not joking. That 20-minute video feels like a 1-hour video. It is actually so incredibly repetitive that I actually zoned out at around the 7-minute mark and I just started to skip through the whole video. But anyways, let's get to the second video, which is about him exposing Clean Girl. And before I continue, let me say this. I found Clean Girl's content extremely problematic because it feels as if she's using a professional job like grave cleaning for clout, which feels so gross to me. Yes, if you want to, I will elaborate in a future video. I bring that video up because there are 2 points that just show that research is a foreign concept to Veshremy. The first point is this one right here.
No one should ever have their name buried in dirt.
Well, I do agree with that. Are you getting hired by the people, like by the family members or something? Or are you just like randomly cleaning these people's graves? What if, I don't know, bro. Some people might not want it cleaned or something. They want like the memories to be there or something. I don't know, dude. This girl's weird.
Okay, the first problem I have is what he said was complete nonsense. And the second issue is something that many commentary YouTubers who talk about Clean Girl don't know about. But when you know about it, you cringe every single time you hear that point. When I said the grave cleaning is a profession, I wasn't joking. Grave cleaning is an actual job and a routine on graveyards. The purpose of grave cleaners is to preserve the quality of the graves, since when you leave them unpreserved and you basically leave them to nature, the graves will be going through natural decay even faster. That is the first point. The second point is this right here.
Are you ready to find out who's buried here?
This is kind of the disrespectful part, bro. It's kind of not your freaking business to know who's buried there. Like, what?
You are made of stupid.
It is a business of grave cleaners and basically the entire staff of the graveyard to know who is buried there. It is basically a policy that the staff there has to know that. The problematic thing with Clean Girl is that she also films that, which is actually something that can get her fired or sued, since it is actually a violation of that policy. By the way, I know that those points were more likely along the lines of jokes. But even then, sometimes research isn't optional. Otherwise, when someone actually does research, your point falls apart and you look dumb in the end. Also a little update, while I was writing the script, Veshremy uploaded another video, this time on Topper Guild, and I thought I should just quickly explain what's happening there. He's just doing cookie cutter reactions, just like most of his other recent videos. But that video actually got me an idea. Should I maybe make a video where I talk about my problems with Topper Guild, not in a reaction way? I would do it with actual problems I have with his content. Because I've noticed something pretty concerning with his content in general. Tell me in the comments if you all want to see that video. Anyways, let's just continue. Another form of content that Veshremy makes is short form commentary content. Because of course he would do that. And now here's actually something that I never thought I would say in my life. His shorts content is way better than his long form content. I mean, his short videos have as much substance as his normal videos, which is actually near the Earth's core. But it is shorter and therefore it isn't as draining to watch. I actually would have never thought that I would one day say that I would prefer short form content over long form content. This is actually a new low for my channel. And that's basically all I have to say about Veshremy. So let's get to the conclusion. In conclusion, Veshremy is a mixture of every problem I have with the reaction commentary community. He is loud, over-exaggerates everything he says, and basically adds no value to the content he is reacting to. His long-form videos are draining to watch and feel like hour-long videos, despite being 10 to 20 minutes on average. And his shorts are somehow easier to watch for me, which should really tell something, because you all know my opinion on short form content at this point. And something I have noticed and something that honestly scares me is that channels like this seem to be the standard for commentary, which is honestly sad to me, because it feels as if the commentary community would be developing backwards. And I really hope that the commentary community can get better again, someday at least. But anyways, that's it for today's video. I will now credit the people who helped me behind the scenes and the person who got the shoutout. Thank you John2008, Indominus Pack, Spino Blue, Flame Plasmanian, Spinozilla 2005, and Unfortunate for making the character stills. Thank you Flame Plasmanian for making my channel's intro. Thank you Gator Boy for making the official logo for Cretaceous Critiques. Thank you Draken and the Dominus Pack for making my channel's profile picture. Thank you Spino Blue for making my video background. And thank you Draken for making my thumbnail border. And go check out EricZilla1999, he really deserves to hit the 10k subscriber count. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay cold and adios!